Yes? I have to say something. Yes. What they have, so to speak. Very laissez-faire. Focusing on what we have to do. We have to make a decision. People, we have to make a decision. So, do you love making a decision? Yes or no?
No, not.
No, right? No. So, we talk about how to make a decision, how to make better decision, actually how to make a decision at all, right? Because we often feel paralyzed when we have to make decisions. And the funny thing is, when I got a bit deeper into the subject, it was because I was asked myself to teach a class on decision making. And it was a very hard decision, making that decision, because I thought, oh my gosh, I hate making decisions. How can I teach a class on decision making? But actually it was really good, because it made me dig much deeper into the topic of decision making. And I'm happy to share this today with you. So, making decisions. So here's what I learned in preparing a class on decision making. So number one, not making a decision is also making a decision. I don't know about you, but I have lots of friends who love making a decision by not making anything and not doing anything at all. And that's actually linked to one of our biases, and I will talk about that in a second. I think my downfall is more that I immediately go into action, no matter what it is, and it's often the wrong action. So that's, anyways, number one, not making a decision is always a decision. And I think it is because the research also says something about that. I think we regret more the things we didn't do than the things we did do. And apparently that is because, I don't know, inaction leads to greater regret, but also because we then can paint in our mind like this rosy picture. Like we can go and say, if I would have just done something, it would have turned out like this. So apparently it's easier to kind of like trick your mind. So, not making a decision is a decision, so let's make a decision today to make a decision. Oh gosh, that sounds so complicated. Okay, importantly, when it comes to decision making, we actually are faced with our biases. So a bias is, how can we explain this? A bias is like a mental shortcut. So generally speaking, this is really good, right? Because we have to make in our daily lives so many decisions. So I would love to talk to you about some of these biases, not all of them, that's too much, but maybe some of them, to make you think when you have to have another decision to make, to maybe make sure that you're not falling for them. So here we go. My favorite one, because I'm so prone to do this, it's called sunken cost fallacy. Or I think it's also fear aversion fallacy or so. No, fear aversion kind of like. So basically what it means, let's say you've been doing something. So maybe you started studying for a degree, and you kind of like already know deep down it's not what you want to do. But because you've already invested, let's say 1 semester or 2 semesters studying it, then you think, okay, no, I'm just going to go ahead with it because the costs, it's already there, so I might as well just, keep going. So it's called, sunken cost fallacy. Then we have the confirmation bias. So I was recently talking to a friend. I was telling her about something, and actually I just was hoping she would say, yes, you're right, and it's so true. And she did the opposite. She kind of said, oh no, I disagree, and maybe you're doing this wrong. And I was like, this is so hard. So basically what I was looking for was for confirmation. So I was trying to talk to her about it because I wanted her to confirm kind of like my decision and my beliefs. She didn't do that. I mean, she's gorgeous. She's amazing. She's an awesome friend. And I'm glad that she didn't do it. But the confirmation bias means we are often looking for maybe conversations, or we're looking for information that just confirms what we already want to hear. So be careful not to fall for that one. Actually, now that I think about it, I fall for almost all of these biases. This is really bad, people. But this is a video about helping you with your decision making. So maybe let me know in the chat and in the comments down below for which one you're falling. Okay, I have to look. Conformity bias. It's another one. So we had confirmation. So we're looking for things that confirm us. And conformity means it's kind of like, what is everybody else doing? So if everybody else is thinking, you know, bright red lipstick is really awesome, then you're probably also gonna fall for it. I tried it out this morning. I thought it looked funny on me, but I'm happy to be convinced otherwise. We're gonna try it. So you kind of like go with a decision that most people, you know, would go for. So that's that bias. Then, hold on. Oh yeah, I already mentioned this, I think. It's called action bias. I'm so prone to the action bias. So as we were saying, sometimes not making a decision is also a decision. So you do inaction. I do the opposite. I do action. So you give me like a, you know, we have to do a project and I just straight run at it. And sometimes this is actually not good because you should first, you know, think it through, look for all the information and so on. So action bias is also something you can fall for. So action is not always super. So you have to think about that. And then, oh yeah, I love this one. It's called framing biases. So are you like me? You fall for, how you say this? Nice packaging. Can we say this? Packaging. So let's say somebody gives you a PowerPoint presentation and the slides are so amazingly, like they're so, from a design point of view, fantastic, that actually the content doesn't matter because it's just framed so beautifully. So sometimes we have to, of course, when we make a decision, also look at, yeah, what is really behind it and not be blinded by that. So, yeah, so these are just some biases. I thought it would be nice to chat a little bit. There's so many more out there, but the question is always you have to ask yourself, what is your own mental shortcut that you are doing? Now, so we talked about not making a decision as a decision. We walked through some biases. Now I would love to talk to you about regrets. Ooh, I want to do another video about regrets.